Hey, Talo Falava. Leatawa Dr. John Peterson. TE2 Edge Sports Cards back at it again. Coming at you live and direct from the Twin Cities here in Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities metropolitan area. 14 county metro, 3 million people. Some people aren't aware that the metro is as big as it is. It's pretty good size. So it's really spread out in many ways. So if you haven't been up to the Twin Cities, definitely come and check it out. We've got great parks. Oh, some great lakes if you like to fish. Boy, it's a really cool place. I mean, how many cities can you just go out and go to a big lake and go fishing? So home of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Twins, and just generally a pretty solid place to live. Yeah, it's Thursday night, and I figured I'd do a late night box break. I tend to sleep only about 5 to 6 hours a night, and so I don't know, what else am I going to do? Might as well do another YouTube video. People are probably getting sick of all these videos that I put out there, but you know what? I don't even care. I know that there are people that are watching, that enjoy the videos, and so I'll just keep making them as long as there are people that enjoy them. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Keep leaving me comments. Tonight, before we get started, I wanted to do a giveaway. So I got this. It's not a big thing, but it's still a nice card. He's a Hall of Famer. Chipper Jones, 97 Bowman Chrome. It's in an 8 in the CSG slab. I don't know if I'm a CSG fanboy. Maybe, maybe not. Tough to say. But I do like CSG. I like PSA too, and I don't mind SGC. BVG, BGS, yeah, I don't do a ton with them, but anyway, I thought I'd do a giveaway. So here's the question. Trivia. We'll do a trivia question. So here's how it works. I'm going to ask a question, and you're going to have to find the answer. The first person to comment and post the answer in the comment section of this current video, I will mail this Chipper Jones card to you. And what you'll need to do is just connect with me on, you can connect with me on Facebook, TE2 Edge Sports Cards, or Leatawa John Peterson, and leave me a message with your address. And I promise you that I will mail you this Chipper Jones card. All right, so here's the trivia question. So a lot of you may know that I've been watching the videos that I really like music. I've been playing music for a long time. Played a little piano when I was younger, about 3 years. But have been in a couple of different bands for about 3-4 years. I was in a reggae band called Soja Say up here in Minneapolis. Pretty successful reggae band. And play guitar and sing and write music and all that stuff. So over the last, I don't know, I'd say probably 4 years, I've been working on an album of music that is connected to a book that I wrote back in 2017. And so the trivia question is, what is the name of the song that is the latest release on Apple Music? All right, so here's the trivia question again. What's the name of the song that is the most recent or latest release on Apple Music? All right, put that song title in the comment section, and if you're the first person, I will mail you that Chipper Jones CSG Near Mint 8 baseball card. All right, so enough of that. I thought I would do a little bit of a different deal here today. I've kind of been burnt out a little bit on slabs, and I don't know, I haven't done a box break of some junk wax in quite some time. This is a specific kind of junk wax, though. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this. This is called Pacific Trading Cards. And these are from, I believe, 1988. They're called Baseball Legends. So even though this comes from the junk wax era, the players pictured on the cards are from the vintage era, and possibly even the pre-war era. So I got this box, and you can find these sometimes in different places. Looks like they were 45 cents a pack. Let's open this up and see what's in here. Well, here's a receipt that says Holiday Station Stores, store number 8, 7/19/1988. So it looks like this was purchased at a Holiday gas station. I have some packs in here. Let me pull some of these out. Oh, it looks like some of these have been opened. Oh, okay. Some have been opened and some have not been opened. I love looking at this old stuff. It's so much fun. Well, this just has like the wrappers. Huh, interesting. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's look at this first little binder. We've got empty wrappers. Oh, there's a Mickey Mantle. See, I really like these old photographs. To me, obviously they're not worth the original vintage cards, same, but look at how cool this is. Roger Maris, Mays, and some of these are photos that you don't see in typical cards from the time period. It's a great photo of Joe DiMaggio. And Musial, look how he's hunched over there. That's classic Stan Musial. Stan the man. If you haven't been to St. Louis, you really should check it out. They're so hardcore as Cardinal baseball fans. It's off the chain, folks. I've never been to Yankee Stadium, so I can't really say what it's like for Yankees fans. But these Cardinals fans are rabid. I mean, they get decked from head to toe. Even the little old ladies who are in their 80s and 90s are just decked out in the colors of the St. Louis Cardinals. So very rich tradition. I think they've won, I don't know, 9 World Series, something like that. I mean, they won a bunch with the Gas House Gang. I think that was back in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. Dizzy and Dazzy Dean, the pitchers, the brothers. So Stan Musial, greatest St. Louis Cardinal of all time. Jackie Robinson. Of course, everyone knows about Jackie Robinson. Some folks don't know that he played some minor league ball, I think in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. Was brought in by Branch Rickey, who was the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 47, was the year that he broke into the majors. The Duke of Flatbush, Duke Snyder. Somewhat forgotten and underrated. I mean, not forgotten, but underrated. Wow, what a great player. Great player. I mean, probably not quite at the level of Mantle and Mays, but certainly a Hall of Famer and worthy of the accolades he's received. Bob the Bullet Feller. Guy could throw the ball with some serious heat. Tony Kubek, or Kubek. Is it Kubek or Kubek? Not sure which one it is. Good Yankee shortstop, middle infielder. Bill Mazeroski hit the greatest home run in the history of baseball, won the 1960 World Series. Mark the Bird Fidrich. Don't know a ton about this guy. Captured the public's baseball fancy when he appeared on the scene in 1976. National broadcasters marveled at Mark's enthusiasm for the games nearly as much as his considerable ability. For not only did the Bird pack Tiger Stadium, but everywhere else he appeared. His 19-9 record and league-leading ERA, 2.34 in complete games, 24 totals, earned him AL Rookie of the Year. Only played for 5 seasons. This is a guy I don't know much about, Johnny Vandermeer. Looks like he played for the Cincinnati Reds. Here's a pitcher. Moose Skowron, Hoyt Wilhelm, knuckleballer. Luis Aparicio, rookie cards 56 tops. Joe Adcock, played for the Braves. Looks like he also played for the Indians. Bill Freehan, I think he's from the 60s. Yep. Catcher. Ralph Kiner, he's from the 40s and 50s. Mostly the 40s, I think. Let's see here. 1949 season, look at these stats. 54 home runs, 127 ribbies, and a .310 batting average. Injury-shortened career. Ralph led the National League sluggers in home runs and home run percentage every year for 7 straight years. Impressive. Chuck Connors, Frank Howard, Larry Doby. Broke the color barrier in the American League, I think in 1948. Pretty sure it was 48, a year after Jackie. Early win. Philippe Alou, Chuck Connors. This guy looks pretty old school. Not too bad, 1951. It's like a card from like the 1920s. A photograph. Jim Bouton, or Booten. Ken Boyer. This guy should be in the Hall of Fame. This guy's Hall of Fame material. St. Louis Cardinal, third baseman, I think. Pretty sure he played third base. He had over 305 times. Harvey Keene, you've heard me talk about them. Al Dark. Some of the same cards here. Earl Batty, Nellie Fox, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a South Carolina guy. Pretty sure he's from South Carolina. It doesn't say on the back there. Bobby Dorr, Ellie Reynolds, Zoilo Versailles, played for the Twins, won an MVP in 64 or 65, somewhere in there. Called him Zorro. I don't know why they called him. I don't know, maybe it was a moniker or a nickname or something like that, but his name was Zoilo. Nice player. Well, let's open up a couple, well, I guess look through a few more of these. See if we can find a Babe Ruth. Oh, there's a Hank Aaron. See, some of these photographs I've never seen before. That's why it's fun to get these cards. Four-time home run champ. That's 59 season was money. He didn't even win the MVP that year. Red Shanings. It's funny to I hear I gotta laugh. I'm not laughing at people, I'm laughing with them. Hearing people try to pronounce Red Shanings, his last name, is hilarious to me. On YouTube channels. It's okay. I mean, it's a tough name to pronounce. The only reason I know it is because of my dad. And Red played for the Braves in 57 when they won the World Series, so I'm familiar with his last name, but I always get a crack out of that. Brooks Robinson, probably maybe the best fielding third baseman of all time, maybe him or Roland. Luke Appling. His best season was 1936. 31 homers, 128 RBIs, 388 batting average. 388. Wow. Played for 20 years. Missed most of 44 and 45 due to World War II, but hit 305 of his last 6 seasons. Interesting. Gene Woodling. Don't know much about him. It's another Stan Musial, another Mantle. I wonder what these cards are worth. Scooter Rizzuto. Harvey Haddix. What is he famous for? Did he lose a no-hitter? Oh, he pitched a perfect game in 12 innings. But he lost the game in the 13th inning when the Braves scored a run. Oh, yeah, so 12 straight innings of perfect pitching. Ted Harrelson, Robin Roberts, Jim Catfish Hunter. That's a young Jim Catfish Hunter. Wow. 1965 was his rookie year. I wonder what his all-time stats were. Looks like he won 224 games, 3.26 ERA. Austin Howard, his rookie year, I think is 55 or 56. I think it's 56. Pee Wee Reese. Hank Sauer. Willie Mays. So the Say Hey Kid ended up with 3,283 hits, 660 home runs, 1903 in terms of RBIs, and a 302 batting average. It says he was an all-star every year from 1954 to 1973. Willie hit 315 in all-star play. Named the National League MVP in 54 and 65. Player of the decade for the 1960s. I don't know. Where do you place Willie Mays all time? I don't know, I've seen him as high as like 3. I've seen him ahead of Aaron. Do you put Willie Mays ahead of Aaron? That's, I don't know. I can't. Like Willie Mays, yes, incredible player, but I think Aaron was better. I mean, look at Aaron's stats. Aaron hit 3,771 home runs, or hits. So when you compare their stats, I love to do this sort of stuff. I don't know if you do too, but maybe this might be the most boring video of all time for people. But if you're into baseball cards and stats like I've been for 40 some years, man, I love this sort of stuff. So Aaron played in about 300 more games than Mays. He had about 500 more hits, about 100 more runs. Of course, he hit about 90 more home runs. Aaron had almost 400 more RBIs, and his batting average was 3 points higher at 305. I put Aaron ahead of Mays. I don't care what anybody says. I think Aaron's number 3 best player of all time. I'm going to go right out there and say it. I think number 1 is Babe Ruth. I know I put a poll in the community page on my YouTube channel here, and a number of people have filled it out. I agree. Babe Ruth is number 1. He's the greatest player of all time. I think he's, multi-generational. He was a pitcher. He could hit for power. He could hit for average. Just a transcendent figure in American history. Frankly, I put him number 1. I put Ty Cobb number 2. Ty Cobb was not a nice person. Let's just put it out there. That dude was not a good dude. Very much a racist. But boy, could he play. Boy, he was intense. So I put him number 2, and then I put Aaron 3. So for me, Aaron is 3. I'm going to move this camera down just a little bit. Kind of putting my hands at a unfortunate angle. There, that's much better. So I put him 3, probably put Mays 4. Where do you put Barry Bonds? Do you even have Barry Bonds in the conversation? Some people are so angry at Barry Bonds. I'm not one of them. He was the greatest player from my era. He hit 3 MVPs before he started doing roids. That says something. What did he win, like 6 MVPs? So, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. Just based on pure stats, Barry Bonds is for sure top 10. Marvelous Marv Throneberry. The first baseman. Okay. His best season, 1962. Not great stats. And then there's this guy, Ted Williams. The Splendid Splinter. Led American League hitters in more than 30 major categories in his 19 seasons. 6 batting championships, 9 slugging titles, 4 home run crowns, and an amazing 18 seasons, 17 in a row of 300 or above average hitting. He spent 5 of his prime years in military service as a flyer in defense of freedom. He won some medals of honor. Appreciative fans wonder in awe how great his final numbers might have been. Well, think about it. So he hit 521 home runs and he lost 5 seasons to service. Let's say he hits 30 home runs in each of those seasons. So 30 times 5 is another 150. So 150 times 521 is 670? 670 home runs. He had 1839 for RBI. He definitely would have had over 2,000 RBIs. He might have even beaten Aaron for the most RBIs. And his career batting average was 344. So it's really definitely a what if with Ted Williams. 5 years? 2 or 3 to the World War II and a couple to the Korean War. And then, how about the players in the Negro Leagues? So I've got a box of Negro League baseball cards, a set. I'm going to break those out. I did a video on that way back in the wintertime. I'm going to break those out. I'm going to open up that set. I've got a couple of them. There's only 5,000 of those sets. I'll have to tell you about them in another video. But like Minnie Minoso, he was in the Negro Leagues. Now this guy played a lot of seasons. If you combine his Negro League seasons and his Major League seasons, I think he played like 25 seasons or something. All right, let's read this. Owns a 298 lifetime batting average for 17 big league seasons. In 8 seasons, Minnie hit better than 300, and 4 times he topped 100 RBIs and runs scored in a single season. Very quick, led the league in stolen bases, triples, and doubles. He played in 4 different decades. Come on, man. He started in 1949 and then played till 1960. But I think he played in the Negro Leagues before he played in the Major Leagues. So I have a thought on that. All these great players from the Negro Leagues automatically should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. If they're not already in there, they should be. Their statistics stand the test of time, just as the Major League players do. I don't want to hear people talk about how the competition wasn't as good or any of that sort of thing. Get them in. Get them in the Hall. That's what Yogi Berra in a Mets uniform? What the heck? Juan Marichal. He had the big high leg kick. Oh, we're seeing some doubles. Oh, Tony Oliva. He recently made the Hall last year. Bobby Shantz. I don't know much about Bobby Shantz. A great fielding pitcher. 8 Gold Gloves in 16 seasons. In 1952, he was the American League MVP. He won 24 games and only lost 7. Oh, he was a nice player. All-Star 51, 52, and 57. Helped the Yankees to the World Series in 57. Oops, they got beat by the Braves, though. Sorry. But then they beat the Braves in 58. Ugh. Jerry Koosman. Yeah, that's great. That was a great lesson. George Kell. George Kell was a nice hitter. Look at this guy's stats. 2,000 hits, 306 batting average. Didn't have a lot of home runs, but he hit over 340 twice. It's not bad. George Kell, I think he's in the Hall too. Vic Raschke. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Let's see here. We got Bob Perky. Never heard of him. Bob Friend. Monty Irvin, also a Negro League ball player. One of the greatest players of the Negro League Baseball, as well as one of the Major League Baseball's immortals. In World Series play, Monty was especially powerful, particularly the 1951 clash between Irvin's Giants and the crosstown New York Yankees. In that World Championship, Monty led all hitters with a .458 batting average, 11 hits and 24 at-bats, including 7 hits in the first 2 games. That the Yankees prevailed 4-2 was over Irvin's strong objection. Monty Irvin was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1971 based upon his career in the Negro Leagues. Yeah, so who knows what his stats looked like? I want to see the combined stats of the Negro Leagues and Major Leagues for these black ball players. They deserve to be recognized, and their records and their statistics. Orlando Cepeda, the Baby Bull. What a great guy. What a great player. Baby Bull. El Torito, right? For those of you that speak Spanish, ¿Quién habla español en este video? Yo hablo un poquito. Estudié en Sevilla. Ha pasado un montón de tiempo, pero tengo la lengua un poquito. Speaking a little Spanish. El Torito means the baby bull. Warren Spahn. 1 more games as a left-handed pitcher than any other lefty in the history of the game. 363 all-time wins. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, 363. 363 wins. And he lost, let's see here. He lost some games to World War, 3 full years to World War II. So now let's do the what if on Warren Spahn. He lost 3 full years to World War II. If he wins 20 games each of those years, that's 60 more wins. That's 60. That means he gets to 423 wins. 423 wins? That's insane. That's really cool. Yeah, Warren Spahn. I love Warren Spahn. Came up with the Boston Braves and then finished with the Atlanta Braves, I believe. Okay, we've looked at those. Let's open up a couple packs. We're still looking for the elusive Babe Ruth. We have yet to see him. Sauer, Roger Maris. Seeing some doubles here. I am seeing doubles. I don't think you can do a Legends set without having Babe Ruth in it. Thurman Munson. Billy Williams. And old Gil Hodges. Yeah, he looked old in his pictures. Even his like 54 tops, he looks old. And I think he's only been in the league like 6 years. I think he was a rookie in like 48 or something. Well, I don't know. Maybe this will be a boring video for a lot of people, but for me, I like looking at these old photographs. Sparky Anderson. All right, so here's a trivia question. What was Sparky Anderson's real first name? All right. And what was his rookie year? All right. Sparky Anderson, real first name, rookie year. Johnny Bench. Second best hitting catcher in the history of the game. After Piazza, in my opinion. 389 homers, 1376 RBIs. He was an all-star 17 times. That's pretty good. MVP in 70 and 71. And he won 6 World Championships. No. Yeah, 4 World Series wins. Del Crandall, he was a really good catcher. People don't realize how good Del Crandall was as a catcher. Let's see here. Popular favorite with the fans. National League All-Star in 55, 59, 60, and 62. And then he was a manager for the Brewers and the Mariners. There you go. I'm gonna open up a few more of these. There's only about 5 of these left, and the rest are empty wrappers. Matty Alou, Sal Magley, Gus Bell, Ron Santo. This guy was popular. I think he played third base. Yep, third baseman. I think he was like maybe 8 or 9 All-Star games. 9 All-Star seasons. Led the National League in walks 4 seasons. Well, there you go. His best season was 64. 30 homers, 114 ribbies, 313 batting average. So he and Ernie Banks, yeah, that's a devastating duo. They probably batted 3 and 4, or 2 and 3. If Babe Ruth's not in this set or in this box, it's a travesty. Or Ty Cobb, too, for that matter. Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Rogers Hornsby, the Gray Eagle, Tris Speaker. I mean, come on, let's go. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Maybe they don't go back that old. That doesn't. Maybe it looks like they don't. Although I do have some cards from an old set that are super old players. I could bust those out. If anybody's watching this, you must be not sleeping, because you should be in bed. You shouldn't be watching me go. Sal Bando. I love this guy. MVP of the College World Series. Oh my gosh, look at his best season, 69. 31 home runs, 113 RBIs, and 281 batting average. Oh, he was with the A's. Considered one of the best defensive third basemen to play in the major leagues. Wow. Okay. I shouldn't laugh. I didn't know he was that good. Well, it goes to show you what I know. Now you're always learning something about vintage, the older players. That's what's fun about it. Is like I wasn't alive when Sal Bando was leading the A's to the World Series. So that's why I really like it. I'm a historian by nature, so I love the history of baseball. Let's look at the back of Tony Oliva. Let's see, Rookie of the Year. Repeated as AL batting champ in 65 and won his third title in 71. Oh, knee injuries caught up to him. Shoot. Yeah, still a good player, though. Hit over 300 for his career. All right, let's take a look here. Wally Moon. Don't know much about Wally Moon. I mean, I know the name. I batted .295 or better 7 times. Played with 2 pennant-winning clubs, 59 and 65 with the Dodgers. Both of those teams won the World Series. Hit .328 in 1961. Not bad. Not bad. So he was Rookie of the Year in 54. This guy was a good player. Luke Appling. Let's see, his best season was 36. Started with the Chicago White Sox for every one of his 20 big league summers. Appling, whose active playing days spanned the years of 30 to 1950, won the American League batting championships in 36 and 43. He missed most of 1944 and 1945 due to World War II, but returned to hit 305 of his last 6 seasons. Broke baseball's all-time mark for games at shortstop and led AL shortstops and assists a record 7 times. .310 batting average. Yeah, he's a nice player. Yeah, that's the last pack. So let me see if I can find these really, they're not like super old cards, but I'm just gonna have to be patient while I look for these cards. Probably lose all my viewers now while I'm digging around these piles of cards and boxes. But I do want to share with you a little bit. Cards for review. Let's look at this. Yeah, here they are. I found them. Let me throw these away. Chipper. Who's going to win the Chipper Jones? I should do another giveaway to see who watches these videos this late at night. I could give away one of those McDonald's football cards. Got a ton of those. Let me just do a little organizing here, folks. Behind the scenes. All right, so these are some cards that I had way back in the day when I was younger. And I don't know, like maybe you had some of these too. Not sure. But I remember going through these cards when I was younger, maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that age. And reading the backs of these cards and learning about some of these all-time greats. So who do we have here? Hannes Wagner. Now, these cards aren't worth anything, right? But look at how old these pictures are. These are crazy. Oh, some people think Wagner was the greatest player of all time. Hits 3,430. Lifetime 328 hitter. Yeah, you can make an argument. I guess his hands were just ginormous. Played shortstop. Of course, you got the Hannes Wagner card. John Evers. Tinker to Evers to Chance. He played second base. Tom Yawkey. Ed Rush. Who's this guy? Best center fielder in the National League during the 1920s. Ed was one of the finest players ever to wear a Reds uniform. Lifetime 328 hitter, won 2 National League batting titles. Huh. Really don't know much about Ed Rush. Roger Connor. Okay, what do we know about this guy? One of the leading power hitters of the dead ball era. His 131 career homers stood as the career record until Babe Ruth revolutionized the game in the 1920s. Played 18 years. Pie Trainer. I've heard of Pie Trainer. He was a pirate. Premier third baseman of his time and perhaps all time. Okay. You don't hear his name really brought up with all-time third baseman. Batted .320 in 17 big league seasons. In 1925 to 30, he put together seasons of .320, .317, .342, .337, .356, and .366. Good Lord, that's some serious batting average. Pie Trainer. Man, would it be nice to have one of his cards. Brooks Robinson. That's a cool picture. Jackie Robinson. Larry LaJoie, or LaJoie. Maybe it's the French pronunciation. 1896 to 1916, the most graceful and perhaps the best second baseman in baseball history. Compiled a .339 lifetime batting average. Hit .422. Wow. He hit .422? Killebrew. Iron Horse. .340 lifetime hitter. Wow. He hit cleanup. So he protected Ruth in the lineup. Bill Dickey. Mickey Cochran. He was a great catcher. I think he played for the Athletics? No, the Tigers. Yeah, he was a Tiger. Greatest catcher who ever lived. .320 batting average. The greatest catcher who ever lived, Mickey Cochran. So is he better than Piazza? I have to stack their numbers up together. Big Train, Walter Johnson. Look at how young he is in that photograph. I've never seen that picture before. Have you? Is he the greatest right-handed pitcher of all time? Is he better than Clemens? Or was he better than Clemens? I mean, most people would say Clemens is the greatest right-handed pitcher of all time, right? Am I right with that or no? Maddox. Maybe it's Maddox. I personally think it's Clemens, but I think Walter Johnson, probably you could make an argument for him. 3,500 strikeouts, 113 shutouts, 416 career wins. Second on the all-time list. What year are these cards? Oh, here's a trivia question. See if you can get this one. Which Hall of Fame pitcher was called Gettysburg Eddie? Answer: Eddie Plank, who was born in and died in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Nice. Don Drysdale, Williams, Banks, Gabby Hartnett. Don't know much about Gabby Hartnett. Okay, 20s, 30s, and early 40s. 297 hitter. John McGraw. Now this guy was a player and a coach. I think he coached the Giants, right? Let's see here. Yep, New York Giants third baseman. One of the greatest managers in baseball history. Also a standout infielder. Yeah, I don't have any of these pre-war cards. I'd like to get into a few of these. These are pretty cool. Well, I could go on all night in this stack. I'm not going to do that. But let me know in the comments. Are you familiar with these baseball immortals cards? Or have you seen these legends cards? I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. I mean, you can learn a lot about baseball history just reading the backs of these. So, well, hopefully this has been fun. I know this is probably very niche for some folks out there. But hey, it's better than just watching regular TV, right? Thanks for watching. TE2 Sports Cards signing out. Peace out. One love.